Thank you so much, Munir, and the Human Rights Committee. I am devastated and heartbroken from every angle that I have to rewound myself over and over again to seek justice, accountability, and to try to reconstruct my dignity and the dignity of my people that have been stepped on. But I'm equally grateful for having a space where we are heard, where we can communicate our voices, because for us this is the beginning of justice, the space to tell what we have experienced on our bodies and to think together what justice would mean, and to also look up to the institutions which have been entrusted into ensuring that criminals are held accountable and victims find justice. As my name has been said, I am David Yambo. I'm the president of Refugees in Libya, a human rights defender, and a victim of Al-Masri. In my country, Sudan, I was already a child soldier, and I ended up in Libya after fleeing my country. When I got to Libya, I was tortured, enslaved, and dehumanized beyond my comprehension. I tried to escape Libya on the central Mediterranean 5 times, and each of those times I was kidnapped at sea by EU-funded Coast Guard and pulled back to Libya, where I was tortured. And this pullback to Libya was not thoroughly done by Libya and the Libyan Coast Guard, but it was supported by Frontex, which operate on the central Mediterranean and transmit boat information that are in distress back to the Libyan militias. On these times, when I found myself in Libya in 2019, I was detained in an official detention center, where then I was sold as a slave to Al-Masri, and from there I became a slave once again. From this point, I was sent to Metiga Air Base, where I was forced to work in construction and even in front lines, carrying munitions and doing all those inhuman things. But not only that, I was personally tortured by Al-Masri himself in different forms that I do not know how to describe, because I did not deserve it. Those who died that I witnessed did not also deserve it. From here, when I was in Libya, still I continued to document in the hope that justice could come. I continued to work with international institutions, judiciary bodies, including the ICC, to ensure that they can do something, because they are our only hope. I survived. Many survived because the ICC have been our only hope from the moment I fled from my country of origin. I had to put my life at risk by doing so, and even when I arrived in Europe, in Italy in 2022, I continued to do this work. But until the 19th of January, my torturer, this wanted criminal, a killer, a murderer, and a rapist, a grave human trafficker, was roaming across Europe, and he was in Italy, the country where I have sought refuge. And when he was apprehended, instead of marching him to the International Criminal Court to face accountability and justice, he was smuggled away back to Libya, where he will continue to commit mass crimes against the Libyan people, against humanity, and against migrants. Through this, when we started to search for answers to our questions, we found that the Prime Minister of Italy, Giorgia Meloni, is immediately responsible. The Minister of Interior, Matteo Piantadosi, is also immediately responsible. The Minister of Justice, Carlo Nordio, he is also responsible. Alfredo Mantovano. These people played a key role in smuggling someone away from justice, in taking what we thought we deserve, something that should have been there from the very moment that he was arrested. But now, as refugees in Libya, our struggle does not stop here. That is why I am also here today, and I want to reiterate that we want justice. We want al-Masri and the rest of the criminals to be put to court and tried, and those who are managing the Libyan Coast Guard and the DSIM in Libya. But not only that, justice for us means protection and safety. This would mean the evacuation of those who are stuck in Libya in those inhuman detention camps that are financed by Italy. And it means that it's looking also to the people who are suffering in Tunisia. Since the EU has signed a memorandum with Tunisia, there is a continuous massacre of the black migrants across Tunisia, where now there is still active state-to-state human trafficking between Tunisia and Libya, and the auctioning of black people. On the other side, to conclude, we want dignity. This is something that can be protected. It cannot be given. We want protection of this. We want to be recognized as refugees. And when discussions are held about us, we are called and we are listened to. And the demands to the ICC, we want a protection for witnesses and victims who are here within Europe and those still in Libya. We want the expansion of the scope on war crimes, because just yesterday, thank you, I have to show these mass graves. When these things happened, which was discovered 2 days ago, it's really, I cannot look away from it. And I want us to all contribute to ensure that we find justice and accountability.